All right, hey there, Rivet crew. Happy Saturday. Hope you're ready for another challenging but fun Saturday workout. Something on the longer side today. Looking at 25 to maybe 35 minutes or so, as long as you're working at a strong, steady, consistent pace throughout the workout. We have a few different things to do. We're doing one round of this per time. We are doing 50 burpees to start. We are following that with a 1 mile run. Then we're moving on to 80 ground to overheads. Then we're doing a second 1 mile run. And then we're finishing out the workout with 100 meters of walking lunges. All right. So again, strong, steady pace, 25 to 35 minutes on average for most of us. Let's go through the movements. 50 burpees. We're looking at something probably less than 4 minutes here. Burpees, as usual, when you have a big setup like this, we don't really want to be flying through them quickly. Just find a nice, steady, consistent pace, kind of like get that little mental metronome going in your head and just work and just go and go. Don't stop. Don't go too fast. Just keep moving. Work through your 50. 4 minutes or so, maybe less, hopefully. Of course, standard burpees here all the way down. Make sure your chest and thighs and everything is touching the floor at the bottom. Bring it up and then hands overhead and get those hips fully extended to the top with a little jump. You know the drill. 50 burpees. Then we have a 1 mile run. Hopefully you'll have a 1 mile distance mapped out at your house, half mile down, half mile back. I've been talking about this a couple times this week as we've been doing some running. What we look for when we run is keeping the feet kind of directly underneath the body when we run. A lot of people make the mistake of swinging the legs out in front when they run. There's a lot of swinging with the feet. That foot ends up out in front, and you land on the heel, and effectively you're kind of putting the brakes on a little bit every time that heel lands, right? Kind of putting on the brakes and slowing yourself down. It also puts a lot of impact when that heel lands. It kind of travels up the leg to the knees and the hips, causes, issues with joint pain and whatnot. So when we run, we try to stay nice and light on the feet. We keep the feet directly underneath the body. Kind of focus here is kind of pulling the heel up towards the hips, right? Kind of go up towards the butt as we pull, pull, pull. And rather than landing and pushing off on that foot in front, we actually always want to think about is kind of pulling those feet up off the ground. As soon as it lands, pull it back up. Land, pull. Staying nice and light. And to move forward, we actually use our own body weight to our advantage. Think about leading with the hips, right? The weight in the hips comes forward, right? And that's what happens. We're kind of pulling those feet up. We let those hips come forward. Then our body weight actually pulls us forward as we run. So way more efficient, way less impact on all your joints. For all you people out there, and I know there's more of a few of you, I hear it all the time. I hate running. Running sucks. Running's hard. Running hurts my knees. Try running like this. Try what's called the pose method. You can look it up, do some Googling if you want. But basically, being really light on the feet, keeping the feet directly underneath the body, and using your own body weight to pull you forward. All right? Practice that today. You'll thank me later. What else we got? Oh, yeah, ground to overhead, 80 reps on this. A lot of different options. You can use whatever you have, whatever you want to use. It could be dumbbell snatches, of course, switching hands every rep, 80 total, 40 on each side, however you want to do that. This could be kettlebell swings, totally fine, American-style kettlebell swings. We can go 80 reps there. You could also swing a dumbbell if you don't have a kettlebell, if you only have a dumbbell. Could be power snatches with a barbell. Keep it on the lighter side, though, 75, 55, or even lighter than that maybe. But, power snatches would work. Odd object would work great. Just what it sounds like, odd objects on the ground. Probably a clean and jerk style would be best for that. Bring the odd object up to the chest and then press it all the way overhead. 80 reps of any of those would work really well. I'm thinking that if it should take 3 to 5 minutes for those 80 reps. If it's less than 3 minutes, it's probably too light. If it's more than 5 minutes, it's probably too heavy. So somewhere in that range for 80 reps, ground to overhead. Then, of course, you have that second 1 mile run. And I forgot to mention this, the 1 mile runs, ideally, probably most people were shooting for somewhere in the 7 to 10 minute range. We're not trying to beat any 1 mile records on these runs in this workout because there's so much other stuff to do. But I do want you to run at a nice kind of strong, steady pace, get it done, but not breathing so hard that when you come back in, you have to break or take a rest before you move on to the next thing. So strong and steady on the runs. And then, of course, the very last thing is 100 meters of walking lunges. These are just plain old body weight walking lunges. You will, of course, need a 100-meter distance measured out. Somehow you can do laps between 2 points if you want. However you want to measure that out. But these are the standard walking lunges, of course. And when we do these, nice big step out. We're always kind of gently touching that back knee to the ground, and then making sure that we fully extend the hips before we go into that next one. Tap the knee, then always standing straight up at the top of each rep. Alrighty, that's all we're going to do today. I shouldn't say that's all we're going to do today. This actually is a challenging workout, but you're going to do it. You're going to get it done, and you're going to have a good time doing it. All right, have a great Saturday, folks. I'll see you Monday.